Hey guys, Steve here. And welcome back to another SG creation where I spotlight all the creations I make, whether it be an engine, rolling stock, or building. Today we're going to be taking a look at Henry. Oh wait, sorry, no, not this Henry, no. This is not a custom, this is the original Plarail Henry, which is a beautiful custom. We're going to be looking at Henry's old shape custom. Let's take a look, shall we? So, as many of you might have known, most of you may be familiar with Henry's origins. No, not where about like the tunnel part, but about his flawed design, where he had to take special coal, like he needed like special attention, like he's always failing, you know. They always indicated Henry's like failing in terms of like steam tubes or like just feeling ill, sick, you know. And here's the reason why. Henry was let me give you a little basics about Henry's origins. Now, many of you might know this, so you may want to, so you can skip ahead on the time. I'll put the time lapse on it, but I'm just explaining this for people who are new to the channel and may not know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we go. Henry is actually an illegal experimental engine of a Grizzly and GNR A1. In one specific, and Atlantic C1. The blueprints was stolen. It was made by somebody from Grizzly's rivalry, and Henry engine was made. They found that Henry was a poor steamer. It was a poor engine, and so the Fat Controller was building an engine. Was desperately needing for locomotives. He was hoping for Atlantic C1, however. He ended up with Henry only because the dealers have manipulated him into, tricking into buying Henry. But, at the time, he needed all the help he can get, so Henry was, the only one available. However, Henry proved to be a very bad bargain. He started to feeling ill, he wouldn't steam properly. He keeps failing all the time, and he just feels like really just down, and of course, this is because of there have been many theories about that Henry is just, about his steam pressure or just his tubes, his steam pipes are just failing, just leaking everywhere. And whether that may be the case or not makes sense to me, at least. It doesn't indicate in the books nor on the television series. They only indicate that Henry was ill. Mainly because, and he cannot build steam properly, only because he wasn't burning the right coal. The Fat Controller decided to buy Welsh coal just for him to burn nicely. Then he pulled the Flying Kipper, crashed, and hence where the original Henry is. And this is where the original, but Henry still is underneath. All of this is this. So I just brought up a Plarail Henry, so we're going to make a little comparison between what I did to Henry and what I did to my original Henry, okay? So here we go. The original Henry was actually designed, I actually made my original Henry look like from a train's version of it. It was not the Wild Northwesters version, no, it was something else. It was more of it had a more of a unique look. I would say, if you guys ever watched Thomas 1, Edward 2, Henry 3, where, that episode where, Croven was introduced with Helen, and Croven was very boastful, and had insulted Toad, but then he got his comeuppance, yeah. So basically that's the train version I've actually was inspired to make this Henry, because it did said it was a mix of A4, which is actually... not an A4, sorry, no, a GNR A1 specific, which is Gordon's class, but technically he's a prototype. So I used the Plarail new version of Gordon for the model. Sorry, I just had a little, sorry. So yeah, a little version of, I decided to use the Trackmaster Plarail, Plarail. I have to get that. I got those mixed up. Sorry. A Plarail Gordon, the new one, for the body and the tender as well. Let's just look at the body, and I'm just going to explain what I did. So off the back, I just decided to remove the buffers, just cut them off, you know, this from square to round. The firebox has actually been enlarged in just a little bit. This is just only meant for because just to make Henry's firebox looks completely like off. You know, it's kind of similar to the TV series Old Shape Henry. You know. Here, let's look at the top. You will know like there's like a bit of scratch there. I actually ran out of paint to like, you know, patch this up, but I'll work on that one. I use clay and putty just for the dome, you know, that's way back there. That's where the dome, you know, where Henry is here, was located there, you know. So that's where the part, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, just to figure out, you know, how I can make this possible, you know, when making the model. For the cab, here's the funny part. I actually wanted, you know, some kind of part of an Atlantic C1, but I was like, what? But then I looked into the train's version. I was like, the cab. What if I made the cab in like an Atlantic C1 version, you know, and then just, you know, just smash it together. So yeah, and here it is. And in this version of the old shape Henry, he's a 4.62. I mean, oh. But in the books, he's in 4.62. So, I mean, I don't agree with that. I think it would have been better with a 4.60. It's would have been better. His face was actually just pulled out from an old Tommi Henry. I just actually had to paint off his pupils and his mouth. Also had to do like a bit of retouches on his eyebrows. You can see that there's a bit of a gold on his funnel. That's only because I made this on purpose. I made this on purpose just because, well, I think it just looks better, okay? I got the inspiration from somewhere. I just don't know where. Well, it's part of the cab. I just decided to saw it off, and just to get that little more of Atlantic C1 look, okay? Yeah. I decided to replace Gordon's side rods, you know, that had that little fancy one, you know, to a normal old style side rods, only because just when it comes to like, you know, old style and new style Henry, yeah, you know, yeah, you feel me? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just having a hard time, you know, explaining to you guys, okay, what I had to do here. So yeah, so basically, he doesn't have any windows on the side, and I just did that on purpose, only because I just wanted, because the Atlantic C1 does not have windows on the side, so I just did that on purpose, you know. Just painted it in an acrylic park green, which is from Tamiya paint. It's the paint I've always used. Okay. Yeah, nothing much to say here. Really like how I captured the body. I felt really original. Like I felt that, you know, like I didn't want to copy off of the TV series like that badly, because I mean, when it comes to like talking about historical wise, you just really need to think about like what makes it more of an A1 and a C1, you know, together, because in the TV series just looks like an unfinished version of a Black 5, which is no good for me. Let's look at the tender. So it's obviously a Trackmaster Revolution. I mean a Plarail Gordon. Sorry, keep getting mixed up. The lining's it's a bit sloppy, but I think I did a decent job. You know, I actually did the numbers freehanded, and surprisingly, for some reason, I think it's cute. I like it. Of course, I give them like, you know, the buffers here. The buffer's round. Sorry, I'm checking my phone here. I'm sorry, I'm clumsy. Yeah. So I figured that. So I'm just gonna put that out of the way, and this is really quickly but just to fill in time, I think I'm just gonna compare this with the Plarail Henry versus the old shape Henry. Okay. So here we go, boys. I mean, guys. So, as you can see, let's start with like the body, okay? We're just gonna push the 10mm off the side of the Plarail Henry to the custom one. So as you can see, Henry has his running boards more squared up, like this, like zigzag, zag, zig. As the old shape, it's more of a curve. And that's why I did that on purpose, only because I just wanted to make it more railway series accurate, like, you know, historically accurate as possible, as close as possible. As you can see, he has this the front dome here. I don't know what this is called. I know this is his actual dome, but I don't know what I can call this. Help me out, guys, here, okay? Well, this one does not. It only just has the dome only. The main obvious you can tell by, you know, the old shape Henry, is that his firebox, like his firebox is literally squared shape. And if you guys want to have like an accurate Trackmaster Henry, I recommend the Plarail Henry, the original one, not the new one, but the original one. Unfortunately, this one's getting discontinued because it's getting replaced by the new cute one. Look. Well, this one just has more of like a triangular one, and this is why Henry keeps failing all the time. All right. And the tender, well, obviously the main difference is the tender. You know, the tender is more of a. I know both of them are Fowler tender, but Henry's doesn't have like a slope down here. Well, it's his bases and the Railway Series it does. Well, this one, that's Railway Series accurate to me, alright. And it totally shows. But the main differences I can tell you guys is the shade of green, like the tone of it. Like, look at it. This was more of a very like natural, perfect with a mix of yellow green. This is just a completely park green, and that's the color I used for that's the little green I used for this original Henry. Okay, all right. I thought I can, you know, just show you guys, you know, just a bit. But yeah, like I said, I did not want it, you know, to make my old shape Henry, you know, literally just from the TV series, but more my own creation, because that's the beauty of making customs for me. I get to make my own creation. I get to make my own, you know, whatever, you know, I get to tweak some things, all right? That doesn't have to be 100% accurate. I mean, like, as long as the character should be good, all right? As long as it's a shape, you should be good, all right? I mean, the shape, I mean, the old stuff, I mean, what they looked like in the past versus now. In the past, it can be whatever I want, but now I'm very, you know, strict about that, okay? You feel me, all right? Alright, good. Nothing much to say about here. Comment below about what you guys think about it and what other things you may say about I need to fix about this. Nothing much to say about here. This is Steven Garcia 118 signing off. Thank you for watching.